What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. I'm currently at the gym doing some health stuff because working out is good for you, right? So I'm gonna go in and work out in a second, which is very counterintuitive because what we are about to talk about, because in this video we're gonna be talking about alcohol and investing. But first, I want to get a little transparent here, right? All right, I better back up before I do this. I really don't know if this is gonna work. I've never tried this before. That was not supposed to happen! We didn't sign up for this! That is much, much better. This is where I was supposed to land. I do need to change because now I am drenched, of course. That's much, much better. But again, full disclosure, I do drink the Alco. And look at that, just like that, we are back at El Gimnasio. You know, I don't really think I'm gonna do that again. Also, I do apologize if these first couple of type of vloggy style videos, I guess, are a little cringy at first, a little awkward, I guess you could say, but you know what? You're never gonna be good at something the first time you do anything. You're not gonna pick up a golf club, and you're not gonna be, Tiger Woods the first time you swing a golf club. You're not gonna be Kobe Bryant the first time you shoot a basketball, RIP. But, it just takes time, and as I keep doing these, and as I get better at them, I'm just gonna be more funny, you know what I mean? You're just gonna enjoy what I have to say a little bit more. Or you'll unsubscribe and you'll never see me again. Anyway, back on topic here. So when I was younger, probably like my early 20s, I used to drink a lot more than I do now. And now I'm just trying to be fully transparent here. I do still drink El Alco. I don't drink it nearly as frequently as I used to, but I do enjoy it here and there. I like to maybe have a couple of drinks when I'm playing golf with some guys I don't see too much, or maybe every once in a while Sundays for football, or I like a margarita as much as the next clueless potato, but I definitely don't drink as much as I used to, and there's a lot of reasons why. I'm gonna go over those in this video, and some of you guys are gonna be watching this, you're gonna be like, oh my god, Josh, you drink alcohol, you're making a video about this, that's so hypocritical. Well, here's the thing, Karen, working out's also really good for you, which we're about to go do right now, but how many people actually work out that know that? I can name probably a ton of people off the top of my head that are gonna say exercise is important, and they still do not go exercise, so shut up, Karen.
Until I held you, I never knew the right words until I found you.
Okay, so now we're at Walmart. We're at Wall Street Mart. We're at the Mart on Wall Street. Wall Street Walmart. It's one of those. I'm not sure which one it is. But anywho, so we are here to get some caffeine. We've already gone in and gotten it. Some people say I drink too much caffeine, and some people are just like, Josh, you don't need caffeine. Your body has natural energy, right? Well, Karen, people also can squat without squat shoes, but the majority of people do squat with some sort of squat shoe or some sort of elevated heel. So, is it the same thing? Probably. Cheers, Karen. But some people are going to look at alcohol as more of an investment, I guess you can say. They're going to make the argument that they're only here for so many years, and they're going to make the argument that really just says, bring on the party, dude! And if that is you, congratulations, that's awesome, good for you, to each its own. That does not make you a bad person in any way, shape, or form. But first off, regardless of how much you drink, alcohol is just going to affect your sleep. I talked about this a lot in the video I made about why we sleep, so go check that out if you kind of want more detail on that, which I'm sure you've already seen because you watch all of my videos. But to summarize really quickly, what happens when you go to sleep, you really want this REM sleep, or this deep sleep, which is where you dream. Rapid eye movement is what REM sleep stands for. And when you drink alcohol, you're essentially not able to get into that REM sleep state. It's essentially blocking your ability to get into REM sleep, which in turn basically means that you don't get the quality of sleep that you need. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking, oh my god, Josh, when I fall asleep after having some drinks, I sleep like a princess. Well, Karen, actually, as a matter of fact, alcohol may help you fall asleep, but it's not going to help you stay asleep. For example, I've also noticed when I have a couple of drinks that I can fall asleep very easily, but I'm also much, okay, two, I lied. Alright, there's three. Anyway, I'm more likely to wake up in the middle of the night and stay awake and have trouble falling asleep asleep, or back asleep rather, as opposed to if I did not have any drinks, I would have just slept straight through the night and I would have gotten into that deep sleep, that REM sleep, and I would have gotten a much better quality sleep. Actually, so a little side note here, if you guys are actually having trouble falling asleep and staying asleep throughout the night, I actually had this same problem. I've had this problem for a while. I think it's kind of like some PTSD and some anxiety things, but anyway, that's besides the fact. So I found out about this stack on the Andrew Huberman, there we go. That was a tough one to get out. He was on the Rogan podcast, and this is where I found out about it. He's actually a really, really smart guy. He's a scientist at Stanford, but he recommended taking magnesium threonate, some theanine, and then this is apigenin. And there is one of these that if you have like you sleepwalk and you kind of have trouble with that, I think it's the theanine he says not to take. I actually can't remember off the top of my head exactly what these do, but I looked into them and they seemed really, really interesting. I would really highly recommend it. I've slept so much better since I started taking these, and if anyone's concerned about them being addicting, I haven't found them addicting in any sort of way, shape, or form. I actually forget to take them every now and then. Like the other night, I just went to bed and I woke up in the middle of the night and realized I forgot to take them, but they really, really help with my sleep and help me get into that deep, high quality sleep. So I'm not going to try to butcher it and tell you exactly what each one of these do. I do have it written down somewhere because I did look into them, but if you're interested, go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast where Andrew Huberman, there we go, is on, and he's going to explain what these three things do in probably the first 10 minutes, but would highly recommend. Little side note there for anyone struggling with their sleepy time. But anyway, back to the video. So anyway, something I always talk about on this channel is trying to get my time and my money in the best places possible. And in order to do that, I need to be as productive and on point as possible with my time. If I spend a day being hungover, that is a day lost. If I spend a night being intoxicated, let's say, that is a night lost, which is why I've really cut down on the frequency and the volume of my alcohol intake over the past few years. And this doesn't even have to be for things that are super important. This can be for something, say, cleaning the house or exercising or retaining information from my YouTube videos. And especially if you're one of those people that always claims that they don't have enough time, that they're always busy, look at how much you are drinking and how much of your, I guess, life and extra time revolve about drinking. If you spend several nights a week and the weekends having, too many drinks, and you wake up the next morning feeling a little woozy, let's say, or in the next day also is just a complete wash because you're too hungover to do anything, try to cut back on the alcohol intake. And I promise you, you're most likely, I'm going to say there's a 95% probability in my brain hole that you're going to be beyond surprised with how much extra time you have if you cut back on just being under the influence like that. And I know some of you guys are thinking, well, I only have 1 or 2 drinks a night. It's really not that bad. I'm okay with that. I wake up fine. I can function. Well, you probably think so, and you probably don't realize this. And I think I talked about this in a Why We Sleep video, but I know Matthew Walker has talked about this in a few different interviews. Actually, if you only have 1 or 2 drinks, that's still going to affect your sleep, and that's still going to make it very hard for you to get into that REM sleep state. In other words, your quality of sleep is going to be reduced, which is going to affect you. And if you do that every single night, say you have 1 drink every single night for years, you are going to have pitiful sleep. Oh yeah, look, a field. We got soccer goals, we got white lines, and we got trees and wind and wilderness and stuff. I've actually really been loving this external microphone. It's actually pretty cool. I really like it more than the lav mic I was using because I don't have to worry about setting up the lav mic, attending the lav mic, and then making sure, attaching it to my shirt. And then once I attach it to my shirt, I got to make sure I'm wearing a shirt that doesn't make it look stupid, and it just really flows and it looks okay, if you know what I mean. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what I mean by that, but you guys want to hear a funny story? So I was watching this kid play basketball as I was driving in here, and that's not the funny part, although he really wasn't that good, so maybe it is kind of funny. Just kidding. Anyway, but a couple years ago, I was playing basketball with one of my friends. We were playing at this park in South Kingstown. It's right next to a main road, and the ball clanged off the rim, and it went into the road, and it got run over by an 18-wheeler. And we stopped playing, and we never played again. Anyway, the next apple that we're gonna pick off the tree here is really, alcohol's really just going to limit your goals in a certain way, depending on what they are. Now, this doesn't make you a bad person, and this is going to come down to you and really what's more important to you: having fun and going out, having drinks, maybe suffering the next day, depending on how many drinks you had, or your goals. And me personally, as I started to take on more and more responsibilities, the more creative I wanted to be with these YouTube videos, the more time I needed to not only edit the videos, but to film the videos and to really just sit down and spend some time thinking. Some of these videos take a whole day for me to plan out where I want to film them, the transitions I want to use. Like, there's a lot more work that goes into it than you guys would think. In addition to that, I also wanted to put more work into myself, and that takes a lot more time, and I really can't spend that much time putting in work on myself if I'm, like drinking more times than not, or if I'm just like suffering from drinking more times than not, if you know what I mean. So I decided, how can I really get more time? And I decided the best thing that I thought I could possibly do is cut back on the alcohol intake, and that would just leave me fresher, and it would leave me the ability to focus on my goals more. And I was 100% right. Ever since I've really started to decrease the volume, ever since I've started to decrease the frequency, I can think so much clearer, I feel so much better, like my workouts are a lot better. I really just enjoy it, and I enjoy being the 1% of people that see alcohol as more of a poison and don't need it to have fun, if you know what I'm saying. But my biggest concern when I really started to cut back on the drinking, and I make it sound like I was an alcoholic. I was never an alcoholic. I just like to go out, and I really wasn't overly concerned about my goals or what I was doing the next day, and that's really why I decided to shift everything like I just said. But when I first really started to cut back and put it more in the moderation category and cut down on the volume, I really had a concern. I really thought about what my friends were going to think, and I really had the mindset of thinking of, I can't stop drinking alcohol, that's all my friends like to do. If I stop drinking, I won't have any friends. Yeah, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, alright? Can we honestly just pretend that didn't happen and move on? Like, back to the video. But that's really what I was thinking. I was really afraid that my friends would just stop inviting me out. They would stop hanging out with me. And I really sat down and I really thought about it. And I realized that if my friends aren't supportive of this, if they're not supportive of my goals, whether that's, business related, personal related, whatever the case may be, if they really aren't supportive and they're really not going to stand by me, then at the end of the day, I need new friends, if you know what I mean, because that's something I feel like when you set a goal like that, and I do this with my friends, when they set a goal, when they start a podcast, when they have some venture they're going on, I'm like the first one there. I'm the first one to make fun of you. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first one. When you trip and fall over a banana peel, I'm the first one laughing, assuming you're not dying and you didn't tear your ACL or anything dramatic. But when you start a venture, whatever that is, I'm also the first one saying, dude, you got this, like 100% in on it, if you know what I'm saying. So bottom line, not to go on a rant here, but if people aren't supporting you for stuff like that and they don't support your goals, maybe it's time to find new friends. Oh yeah, look at this, another field, more soccer goals, and a tree and stuff. Okay, so last thing, or actually two things that I'm gonna wrap up the video with here. I'm gonna kind of combine these together because they're all pretty short, so I don't see the need to I guess go into too much detail about either one because I think they're pretty self-explanatory. The first thing, so it's expensive, obviously. That is, I think we can all agree alcohol is very expensive, and I think there's also a healthy argument that you're paying to poison your body at the end of the day. And every time you go out, let's say you go out and you get some food and you have 3 or 4 drinks, you could legitimately 3x the amount of money you spent in drinks compared to food, which is a little insane. So me personally, I like to think about every time I don't get a drink. So let's say I'm thinking about getting a drink and I don't get one, and that's a $10 drink or a $5 drink or an $8 drink or whatever the case may be. I think of that as a $10, $8, again, whatever that amount comes out to, investment into my future. And obviously compounding that over 30 or 40 years, that adds up over time 110%. And I think this is the most mind-blowing thing about alcohol, because people will complain they have no money, they'll complain they can't make money, this and that, but they'll go out and spend whatever amount of money on a drink that you can possibly imagine. It's like, how much does that cost? Here's a blank check, fill in the number, like at the end of the day. Like if you're struggling with your finances and you really are behind and your investing game's maybe not where it should be, think about cutting back on the alcohol, because it's just empty calories, and it's honestly a way you can really improve your finances in investing future by just cutting it out a little bit. Now, obviously from time to time, maybe once a week or whatever the case is, there's nothing wrong with that, because you want to do things you enjoy. So if you enjoy drinking, you enjoy having fun, and you can afford to A, with your time, and B, with your finances, set aside a little time, maybe once a week, maybe Saturdays, to really just go out and let loose and not think about anything. Go for it. I am all for that 100%. But if you're really struggling with your money and you can't grow your bank account, consider cutting back on the alcohol. Just consider it. And the last thing we're going to talk about here, I'm going to make this super quick because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Alcohol isn't healthy. Like I just said, it's empty calories. It really hurts your productivity, like we talked about before. It really ruins your next day, could potentially hinder your goals, all of these things. Plus, if you're trying to lose weight, it's really not good for weight, obviously, loss, because A, it's adding calories to your diet, and B, it's just going to play with your hormones, and it's just going to make you hungrier. I'm not going to go into detail about that last part because I did talk about that in my how to sleep video, so definitely go check that out if you want more information on that, or you can just go listen to really any Matthew Walker podcast. I would really advise that, even if you have no interest in stopping to drink. It's really a big eye-opener what sleep can really do for you. But anyway, saying that, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Again, like I talked about earlier in the video, yes, I do drink alcohol. Yes, from time to time I do enjoy drinking alcohol, but I really don't drink nearly as much as I used to. Not that I was ever a very heavy drinker, but I have cut it down because there's just things in my life that I put much higher on the priority list as opposed to drinking alcohol. It's like I talked about, it's really not healthy. It's really bad for your sleep. It's really bad for your goals. It's really bad for your productivity. Obviously, if you can't cut it out completely, there's a difference between having 1 to 2 drinks on the weekends and 10 drinks Friday and Saturday, so 20 drinks total. So to consider cutting back on the alcohol if you really want to, I guess, take control of your life. And at the end of the day, final thought here, I think for me, the goals I have, the less I have alcohol-wise in my mouth hole, the better. So thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed these different style of videos. Let me know if you have been enjoying them or if I'm just kind of wasting my time driving around and filming different scenes and doing different transitions, but I kind of have fun doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys in next week's video.